The global rise in obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and metabolic dysfunction can no longer be viewed separately from the explosive growth in ultra-processed food, UPF, consumption. These industrially manufactured products, designed for shelf life, hyperpalatability, and profitability, have fundamentally reshaped global diets. They displace nutrient-dense whole foods, disrupt hunger regulation, and fuel systemic overconsumption. Addressing this public health crisis requires a coordinated, aggressive policy response, not just individual behavior change. Fortunately, governments have powerful tools at their disposal to help reduce UPF consumption and rebuild healthier food systems. A key policy mechanism is taxation. Several countries, including Mexico, Hungary, and the UK, have implemented taxes on sugary beverages or junk food with encouraging results. These taxes not only raise prices to discourage consumption but also send a broader signal that these products carry societal costs reflected in national healthcare burdens and lost productivity. A well-designed tax structure can be expanded to target a wider category of UPFs beyond sugar-sweetened beverages, including salty snacks, processed meats, artificially flavored cereals, and packaged desserts. The revenue generated can be reinvested into public health initiatives, such as subsidizing fruits and vegetables, funding nutrition education, or improving school food programs. Clearer labeling laws also play a critical role. Many consumers are unaware of the extent to which their diets are dominated by ultra-processed products because packaging is designed to mislead, featuring health halos, deceptive portion sizes, and ambiguous ingredient lists. Front-of-package warning labels, like those used in chili, provide a strong deterrent. These black stop signs indicate when a product exceeds thresholds for sugar, sodium, saturated fat, or calories. Research shows that such labeling reduces purchase intent and encourages reformulation by manufacturers. Mandatory ingredient transparency and stricter definitions of terms like natural, healthy, or light can further protect consumers from manipulation. School food reform is another foundational strategy. Children's exposure to UPFs begins early, and habits formed in school cafeterias can set lifelong dietary trajectories. Governments can mandate nutrition standards that eliminate highly processed foods from school menus, prioritize whole and minimally processed ingredients, and ban branded junk food marketing within educational environments. Policies can also ensure that meals are free or subsidized to promote equity and eliminate the disparity in access to real food among low-income families. Cooking education, gardening programs, and partnerships with local agriculture can deepen children's connection to real food and displace reliance on packaged options. Public procurement standards are a high-leverage policy tool with relatively little political resistance. By mandating healthier food purchasing in government-run facilities, such as hospitals, military bases, prisons, and administrative offices, governments can shift demand away from UPFs and set an example for the private sector. When these institutions prioritize minimally processed, nutrient-dense foods, they support local supply chains and demonstrate that public health can be embedded in daily operations, not just in slogans. Another critical vector is marketing regulation. The food industry spends billions annually on advertising, especially targeting children, low-income communities, and digital platforms. Governments can restrict or ban advertising of UPFs during children's programming, on public transportation, in schools, or through influencers. Similar to tobacco control, these restrictions can denormalize the most dangerous products and reduce their cultural visibility. Meanwhile, mandatory plain packaging for certain categories, like sugary drinks or high-sodium snacks, could limit their emotional and visual appeal, particularly to vulnerable populations. Retail and zoning policies can also make a meaningful difference. Urban food deserts and rural areas often suffer from an overabundance of convenience stores and fast food, with few options for affordable, healthy eating. Local governments can use zoning laws to limit the density of fast food outlets or require that a percentage of shelf space in corner stores be dedicated to fresh or whole foods. Incentives can be offered to grocers who operate in underserved areas or source locally. Of course, no single policy can turn the tide on its own. What's needed is a comprehensive framework that addresses the structural drivers of UPF dominance: corporate consolidation in the food industry, lack of food literacy, economic inequality, and the devaluation of cooking and agriculture. Governments must align public health, agricultural subsidies, trade policies, and educational systems around the common goal of reducing UPF exposure. Food systems need to be reoriented toward health outcomes, not just economic output. Importantly, such reforms are not about restricting choice, they are about restoring it. In a market saturated by engineered foods designed to override biological satiety and exploit impulsivity, true choice is already compromised. Policy can rebalance the food environment to make healthier options more accessible, visible, affordable, and culturally integrated. People cannot choose what they cannot afford, cannot see, or do not understand. In conclusion, reducing UPF consumption is not only a nutritional goal, it's a public health imperative. The tools are available. What's needed now is political will, public pressure, and a shift in narrative, away from blaming individuals and toward transforming the food environment that shapes those individual decisions. A healthy population is not built on personal responsibility alone. It's supported by systems that prioritize human well-being over industrial profit. Governments have a moral and economic duty to lead that transformation.